soda, Dave. There. Mess today. Hey, Harold. You're the first one here. The bench is a mess. Hey, all aspects. Hey, A2. Thanks for coming. Hey, I appreciate anything you stay for, A2. It's good, buddy. Thank you. No worries. You're all welcome. I don't care when you show up. It's all good. I do have a funny story though, while we waiting for people to pile in. Anybody that watched my last live when we fired this truggy up, remember how it shook like crazy and we had to change tires? So I pulled I tried the solvent bath with these tires, and I've never actually tried to let them dry out and try and remount them. These are actually the ones that came off of it that were super shaky, and I pulled them apart and they were full of gravel. Full. Like, it was crazy. They were probably quarter of the way up the tire, full of gravel. So anyway, I soaked them one at a time in the acetone bath, peeled them apart nicely. The foam grew to about twice the size. I let it dry out. It actually shrunk back to the original size, which I didn't think would happen. I remounted it all. I got to glue these yet, but they all fit back together perfectly. I put them on my my balancer, and they spin fine. They don't shake anymore, so they should be reusable. But I can't believe how much gravel was in these tires. It was crazy. It was that red gravel, so it looks like somebody had run this in a ball diamond or something. But it was nuts. The amount of gravel that was in these was just crazy. And when you'd squeeze them, it was crunchy. That's how I knew there was something in there. Either they were full of gravel or the foam had separated. But it turned out they were full of gravel. Like, and I didn't even think that shit would fit through the little pee hole in the inside. But I'm gonna try it. I've never actually attempted to reuse them after the acetone bath, but they look good. They're still pliable. They're not gummy. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried that before. And I thought the foams would be junk, because historically when you pull out the foams, they're super gluey and they're huge and everything else. But the foam shrunk. I just let them dry out, hung them up, laid them flat on the bench, kind of like that, on a rag, and they dried out and they shrunk. But I shit you not, it was like the size of a Savage wheel. It was humongous, and then it shrunk back down to normal size. So I'll glue them and then see how it works. But it could save people a lot of money, because I don't know how many times I've gotten like brand new wheels and tires that shake like a motherfucker as soon as you get them, and you're just like, what the hell? And I think it rejuvenates the rubber. So we'll see how it does. But I'm super curious to see. I'll glue those. I might even glue them on this live. But it's I was amazed how it worked. So we'll find out if they're salvageable. I hope so. Yeah, I ran this yesterday at my buddy's shop. I posted a video of it. Some of you guys have seen it. It worked like a champ. Funny story though, as I was leaving, I went to actually put it back in my buddy's Jeep, and this rear shock on this side fell apart. The rod came right out of the shock, and it didn't do it when I was running it, but it went to when I went to put it in, and I'm like, what the hell? And I pull it apart, and the screw had come out of the rod, and the threads were pulled out, so I ended up green Loctiting it back together. So we'll see if it holds together. But somebody had set the droop wrong, so it was overextending the shock. Hey Joey, thanks for coming, buddy. So we'll see. I got to re-glue those, throw them in the old pizza oven, and then let them harden up. I'll let them dry and put them back on. So I should be able to actually salvage the original wheels and tires on this kit. I didn't figure you'd stay long, Joey, with you guys all being so sick. I do appreciate you showing up for the support. That's always good. Anybody know if John's still going on? Is he still racing? Hopefully he hasn't broke his stuff. I'll grab the glue while we're waiting for other people to come in here. We'll glue these tires quickly. Just another quick question. Do you guys leave your glue in the fridge? Once you open it? You got another Savage compass? I can appreciate your guys' dedication to one model. I'll tell you what. I can't stick to the same model all the time. MGTs are probably the thing I have the most of, but I don't think I could just do all Savages. But I do appreciate you guys that do. I should have fired up the pizza oven before I started this. On outside. That's it for a minute. Yeah, I was waiting. That is cheap, even if you get it at the 150. They're getting harder and harder to get cheap. I could see a resurgence coming. I'm hoping anyway, optimistically. Paid $100 for. I find usually you can get them down. If somebody's asking 150 or something like that. Usually you can get them down to about 100 or maybe get them 125. But I'm never a big fan of the cut them in half type mentality. I just think that's kind of. I won't do it. Sometimes people will do it to themselves, which is fine. Generally, if somebody's asking $150 for something, they're pretty desperate to get rid of it. There's that side. Oh, the purple pipe? The ribbed one? That's a cool pipe. That's worth the money right there. This bottle's just about out empty. You can probably sell that pipe for what you paid for that kit. Ooh, those are setting up quick. All right, I'll go put those in the pizza oven. There. Timer's set. They're in the pizza oven. Yeah, it's the end of that tire glue. There's a little whisker in the bottom. Probably enough for one tire. Sorry, did anybody say if they checked if John's still on his live? I'm assuming he's still in his, because there's not many people here yet, so well, I figured I'd take advantage and do my tires. There. Wait till the pizza oven dings and those tires will be done. Be good, but yeah, after I fixed that shock and stuff, put all that back together. The droop was set way wrong on this thing. Yeah, and it was actually bottoming the shock out before it would hit the droop screw. So it ripped that rod right out of the shock. So that is something, if anybody has a truggy or a buggy, you need to keep in mind, because what'll happen is it'll rip the shock apart. But I'll grab those other two. It's a gorgeous day here today. Still cold as shit here though. Minus 15. These are the two originals that weren't full of gravel. These, I swear these low-C wrenches are the only thing to put on the wheel nuts on these things without driving yourself nuts. The ones with the end, the shallow nut, shallow wrench. Yeah, that's why I ran inside yesterday, anybody that saw my video, just because it's too cold. Nothing tunes worth a shit in that temperature. I don't mind if it's like, you know, minus 10-ish to 0. That's perfect, because it's not wet and it's it'll tune. But when it's like 0 to -5 or to +5, just -7, it's like Harold said, it's just a soupy friggin' dirty mess. And kits come back in, they look like they're brown pieces of sewage trash, so it's gross. Let those wheels harden up. Might be a pretty skinny live today. Only a handful of people. Anybody else get out doing any running this weekend? All aspects, did you get out at all? I'm sure you didn't, Joey, because you're sick as shit, so is the rest of the family, so. Be a slow start today, I think, fellas. Just trying to wait for more people to come in. I only show 4 people. Not that I care. I appreciate anybody that shows up. 4, 10, 40. Hey, Corey. Did John just finish up, you know? Like I said, I just appreciate anybody that shows up. He's still ripping, eh? Okay. Is he still running the low C? Or did he switch to the back to the Mugen? The low C's tuned up now? Oh, right on. Perfect. Hey, Hoffman guy. Oh, good. That's awesome, Corey. Oh, hey, Todd. Thanks for coming, buddy. It's good to see you. I was just saying how this is the one that I picked up last week, and the tires, the original tires, shook so bad, and I don't know if you remember that last week or not. Off the guy, but I took the tires apart, like soaked them in acetone, took them apart, and they were full of baseball diamond gravel, just full. It was full of that red, fine pea gravel stuff. And I don't know if that was a baseball diamond, or now that I think about it, it might have been a track. It might have actually been a racetrack. But it was that super fine brown clay dirt. And it was everywhere. Like, I just cleaned it up. I'm super pumped you came, Todd. I gotta admit. We're glad to see you. I'm just waiting for those tires to dry there. We'll see how this goes. I'll put them on and then we'll fire this up and see if they, how bad this thing shakes. Just waiting for the oven to ding. I keep a little pizza oven in here with like a ducted fan that I use to dry my tires, and I put them in there, and then it has I keep it at about 100 degrees, and then it circulates the air, but it dries the tires really nicely. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but it's ready. Nice and warm. Fresh tires. It also helps make them round again. If they're a little bit square, that pizza oven kind of brings them back to some kind of shape if they've sat. Now we'll see. Let those cool off for a minute. A little warm. And then we'll bark that up and see if they shake like a bastard like they did before. I got a feeling it should be substantially better. Oh, there's still fuel in this from yesterday. That's right, because my radio acted up as well, but I sorted that out when I got home. It was a bad connection. The yellow ones look good on here. These were the yellow ones I had on here. They look good, but they're really poofy, and they have smaller rim dimension. I think they'll be better in like rough terrain. But these, man, do these things ever balloon up? Anybody that watched my video yesterday, these things balloon up to the pizza cutters. It's crazy. They definitely have lots of sidewall flex. Yeah, this is an 8T V2. I got corrected last week. This is not the original, but it's the V2. So, pardon me. This is the Losi 427, and I have the V3, which is the new one with the there's two of them up there with the Dynamite 28, and then I'm going to be on the hunt for the V1. Rinks has one, but he won't sell it to me, and I just see he just popped on here. So I try and throw that out every week, but eventually he'll sell it to me. I don't know how many of you fellas have run this. I think Rinks has the same engine in his, but these Losi 427s, they're a pretty good engine, but my God, they must be the most cold-blooded pig on the face of the earth. They just they like to warm up before they start doing anything. Oh, hey, Racing 393, I've never seen you in here. Thanks for coming. You're in the UK. So is Joey. What part of the UK are you from? It's this Rinks is a bump start. This one's a roto start with the Losi roto start system. Hey, SLC. Near Camberley. Is that in England, or is that, sorry, I don't mean to be ignorant, but I don't know where exactly that is. Yaterley. 30 miles from London. Oh, right on. Joey's from London area. All right. I think these have cooled off enough. Let's see if they're square or round. shall we? We'll warm this one up a little bit. Unlike yesterday, where it just got fired up, cool in the shop there, it was a little bit cranky. And I ran that Mugen in that shop yesterday. That thing ran like a champ. But I'll tell you, that thing's got some fierce pinch. Trying to fire that up cold was not easy. I forgot my heat gun. Temp ends over there. That should do. As long as it's not going to start. Not going to run it for long. Oh, it's still on my low C. Have like 30 kits on these radios. That looks pretty good. I think those tires are a success. Idle's good. There. Pretty good. Hey, Northeast. Thanks for coming. I'd say those tires are a success. What do you guys think? They don't look like they shook nearly like they did the last time. I think I'll call that a win. Yeah, I agree, Todd. That's pretty good. Anyway, sorry, you asked what clutch test was. I think it's a low C clutch. With the blue that's in there, I'm pretty sure that's still that low C 4-shoe in there by the looks of it, because it has that extended bell, that rounded deep bell as well. So I'm pretty sure that's still the low C clutch that's in there. It seems to grip nicely. I will say, I gotta admit, it's pretty decent. But I was for those of you that came, I'll just give you another quick recap with these tires. I'm pretty super pumped. I soaked them in acetone for a week, pulled the wheels off, let the foams, well, not a week, probably 3 days, let the foams dry out, and they shrunk back to the original size. Remounted them because they shook like crazy because the rim was half full of gravel inside the tire, and they seem to be back to normal. So I'm super duper pumped with that. I will definitely take that. So that's a super win in my opinion. Yeah, I like the low C clutches. The only thing I hate with the low C clutches, Todd, is, and I remember I've watched you on them many times, is that they take that weird bell, that longer bell. That's my only beef with those low C clutches. You have to buy that specific bell. How do I do that? I don't balance all my tires. If I'm going to race them, I balance them. Just for regular bashing, I don't balance them. Do you balance all yours? I know that you use the Protect Losis. Oh, I've never tried those belts. I'm gonna have to look that up. So I would say that this one is worth throwing a little bit of money at now that I kind of got some of the bugs out of it. Because that rear drive shaft, the screw was stripped out of it, so I had to make the screw, redo the screw, so that drive shaft should be changed. And the fella, I contacted the guy that I got this from, and it's funny because he sent me the radio, the original radio gear for it. I'll show you. So when I bought this, it had the original radio gear in it, and there's the receiver. But the shitty thing was when he sent this, it didn't have. It's missing the cell for the battery. And I kind of like the original radio with this one because I have the original receiver and everything. So I kind of like to put it back together. Hey, Nitro RC Life. Brett, how's it going? So yeah, and anyway, I contacted him, super nice fella. He's sending me the battery pack for this so I can actually put it back to the stock Spectrum gear, which I'm looking forward to. Which would be cool, because I do like to try and keep them back to stock as much as possible. Yeah, so like I said, I'd like to do that, so I'll put this back up in its home here in a little while. Now that I got the original wheels to work. No, this isn't it's not old AM gear. That's still digital, which is good. So it's still a digital radio. It's just the big old school first gen digital stuff. That's the old FM stuff where that shit used to happen. Scary stuff that. Fair enough, Brett. Fair enough. Oh yeah, I used to race. That's when I used to race, Todd. Same thing, you know, the board with the signal flags and the and everything else, and you had the flag on the antenna and the whole shooting match. That's back when I was racing. So it is. That's when I was doing it. I haven't raced since then. So I figured, in honor of the fact that Todd's here, we're gonna break out some super cool stuff today. This is one that you guys would have probably not seen. This is a Thunder Tiger S3 with the Kronos RS5. So something that most of you guys probably wouldn't have seen. I'm sure, you know, some of you guys would have seen an S3. The Kronos RS5 is definitely not something you see all the time. Thanks, Rinks. I'm not that old, but when I raced it was 1992, 91, 92, in there somewhere. So a long time ago. Jesus, you grabbed the wrong one twice. Yeah, and that is a super old school OS pipe. You got that right, Todd. Just see a loose screw here. I want to fix that before I get sidetracked. Forget. Because that's what will happen. There. Yeah, so this is what this is a Kronos. You can see in there, Kronos RS5 with the OS pipe, and that's a Novorossi header actually. Yeah, they're pretty rare. I don't see them very much, but I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever ran an engine that revs that hard. Like, I even have my neighbors come out when I run this one out front, and they're like, I don't think I've heard one of yours rev that hard, because it's just crazy obnoxious. Yeah, I believe that. I pulled this engine apart, and it's definitely looks like a Novorossi inside. Everything is marked. Everything has engravings and laser cutting on it. It's crazy. It's the S3 is a pillow ball car. So, which is cool. These things are built like a tank. You can see all the upper plate is pretty cool, and even the bracing underneath there. They're a really sturdy built buggy for sure. This was Thunder Tiger's attempt to make a pro kit. Yeah, like I said, my neighbors are so used to me running stuff up and down the road. They don't very often say anything, but this one, they were just like, that thing is crazy obnoxious, and it's surprisingly fast for a buggy. Oh yeah, I'll show you. Here, you got to see this radio. So this is the radio for this thing. It's a old school JP Racing Airtronics analog radio. Has all the gizmos, all the cool stuff. It's it's like Sanwa, made by Sanwa. Works like a top. It's a great radio. Oh, cool, Northeast. You would have it. You have tons of engines, so that makes sense. Yeah, this radio is super cool. It's a great radio, but it works so well. I gotta admit, it works great. And I should have charged the battery in this thing. I imagine it's probably dead. You can see. Oh, but the batteries in this are dead. Nope, there we go. No, battery in the car is dead. But that's okay, we can charge that up. It has VRC and Spectrum servos in it that are older generation Spectrum servos. This old flat pack has probably seen better days. It's actually the one that was in it when I got it, so. And it works pretty good, but it seems to die when it sits on the shelf for any amount of time. Oh, I know, I remember seeing these radios back in the day when I was a kid, seeing these in magazines, and these weren't cheap. Like that was a radio that you saw pros running back when I was a kid. Nerd, dead on charge. I don't know if this old analog radio gear would take a lipo, so I don't want to chance stuffing one in there because I really don't want to lose this radio gear. This particular pump pack is not the best, so it'll work for testing purposes while that other one's charging. It's a tank, hey? See what I mean? Like, look at that thing. There's nothing really, and it has a giant brace that runs right across the back to the rear tower. All right, Todd. Talk to you later, buddy. Thanks very much for coming. Great to see you again. You guys figure, should we park this up? I haven't run it for a little while. You guys want to see this thing run? intro again. You betcha, Todd. All right. This definitely needs to be preheated. I know that for a fact. She's tight. It's a Thunder Tiger S3 Pro. So these things are, or in England they call it a TTR S3. So a lot of this stuff is a little bit more common in Europe than it is here. So I found this one on a fluky deal from a dude in Calgary that hadn't been running over a decade, and it had been sitting in a bin. And the fellow was quite the character I got this from. He was actually the fellow that I got it from came out fully dressed in an old Puma tracksuit. Looked like he came right from the Trailer Park Boys or something like that. But he had the Puma tracksuit on, bucket hat, cheap ass beer, and he was just like, buy it or don't buy it. And he's like, I don't care. And I'm just like, holy Christ. Anyway, I ended up buying it from him because I couldn't see it sit there. Just because it was too much of a criminal to leave it sit and go back into hiding. So I ended up paying up for it pretty decent, but it was, in my opinion, it was worth it. So it basically rings. It's like buying a buggy from J-Rock. Like that's what the guy looked like. He actually looked like J-Rock. My wife was just like, I'll just stay in the car. I don't want to come to the door. I want to make this one nice and toasty before I fire it, because this engine is too rare to wreck. I could go get my big heat gun, but this one works pretty good. I use it mostly for a shrink tube, but it works pretty decent. You can direct the heat pretty nicely. There we go. Need some fuel. turn the fan on. Warm it up a little bit first. I love that engine though. So smooth. Temps are, check the temps. That engine is so crisp. Drop off 180. Burns the eyes. He's rich still. run out of fuel. Especially this one. There she is. What do you guys think of that one? That's such a good buggy. Looks like I might have a rear exhaust gasket starting to go sideways though. That's okay. Left a little bit of schmoo behind. They get rotten from sitting. I mean, this one doesn't get set that often, like that much. I do run this one. I like to run all my stuff. But for a almost 40-year-old kit, it's not too bad. Like, it doesn't have too much damage underneath. Take this battery out. This is my test battery. It's not the best battery. What engines do most of you guys run in your buggies? Just curious. For those of you who run buggy, what's the most popular engine? OS? Or what would you like to have? I should say. I'll get Pablo ready to plane. The plane, the plane. Whew. No, Alberta is not the capital of Canada. Ottawa is. Alberta thinks it's the capital of Canada. Hey John, you got done running? Did you make it away without breaking anything? Yeah, phone died again. Oh, is that what ended your stream? Was the phone dying? Oh, that sucks. I'm gonna wait till this clears out now. And then I'll put the battery back in this thing. Tuck it back in its home. Showing some vintage radio here. Check that out, John. Old Sanwa from back in the day. Whew. Man, that was burning my eyeballs, that one. What's the one best 110? I would say electric buggy, I would say is probably, a lot of the people are saying the new Techno is supposed to be the best electric, new electric buggy, the one to beat. But that's what, of course, that's what A-Main says. Holy shit, what, John? Sorry? Oh, the radio, yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a big beast, that thing. I love it. It even has, if you want, it even has a fuel gauge in there. You can even put, like it tells you the battery voltage in the car. It tells you everything. Everything. Like, it'll tell you what your telemetry is, how far you are before you go to range. All that information's on that screen. It's super cool. I don't even think the new stuff has that kind of technology. Oh, hey, David. Most of my stuff is nitro, yes, but I don't discriminate one way or another. If somebody has electric, I just encourage people to the hobby. I find I won't shame anybody one way or another. I started back in the 90s with old electric stuff. So, yeah, the antenna is long, but a lot of the old school ones like this, the antenna was this long. It had to, or that's what stopped your interference. Yeah, it's great, but to think that radio is probably 25 plus years old or more, and it has that stuff in it. That was an expensive fucking radio back in the day. Like, that was not cheap. That was big money. That's back when the electronics and shit were made in Japan or the US or, like not China. As Trump says, China. Just waiting for I think the air is clear enough I could shut the fan off. Whew. Suck all my heat out. Just waiting for that battery to charge so I can put this one away. Man, you can see the sun. What a nice day. Hey, don't pick on Drake. He's a Canadian hero. No more than Justin Bieber is. Thanks, Dorothy. Do you have one of these? I'm sure you do. You said you have a Kronos that's like a 427. But do you have the RS5? Ooh, I need something to drink. Hold on a sec. Suck in some of that nitro. Later, Harold. Thanks for coming. The battery's hot. I like to drag these out once in a while just so I can fire them up, even if I don't run some of the ones I don't run very often. But I do. I like to run them all. These are I haven't even actually got a chance to drive this on the ground with these new tires. A friend of mine bought me these for Christmas. They're Proline Gladiators. They're nice and aggressive. This one should be fun in the field. It should just chew. So, I'll tell you, I did a diff service on this when I first got it, and to get that center diff out of there is not easy. There's so many cross supports and everything in there that it's a bear to get it apart. Yeah, this is kind of, it's funny, you know, I have some buggies that have their nickname in the radio. I got one I call bird poop buggy because I got it from a barn and it was completely covered in bird shit. So I call it the bird poop buggy because it was basically a rescue from a barn. Yeah, the car is basically built around that center diff. There's bracing and supports in there everywhere. It is a very heavy duty built buggy. And I don't spare it too much when I run it, but fortunately this thing came with a bin, and I'm talking a Rubbermaid bin that's probably that completely full of new old stock parts, like control arms and screws and every little linkage piece and every extra like widget and control arm and linkage pieces that you could possibly think of. Is the only reason I agreed to buy it, because you can't buy parts for it anymore. But it came with just about every part that you'd ever need to keep it running, as long as I'm not stupid with it. I think I'll just call that battery good. This covers a bit of a bitch to put back on. I will admit that. It's weasel it underneath here, and then you got to get these two tabs underneath this linkage at the same time. There, and then it has this long pin to hold it in, hold the cover down. This is a typical Thunder Tiger thing. They love shit like that. There. Body. Oh, and it also came with a brand new, obviously it's not on here, but it came with a brand new body, unpainted as well over there, that I need to paint, but I'm scared to paint it because I'm not the best painter, but it came with a brand new body to go on it. There. Put that back. Such a good buggy. I think this is the wrong starter box for this buggy. Bit of a lag today. So this is my Hyper 8 with the OS speed in it. This was actually a retired pro kit, actually professionally raced before from the fella I got it from, who retired it back when OFNA was actually competing on the stage. So this is back in OFNA's heyday, I guess. So yeah, seems like there's a bit of a lag, so I'm just trying to make sure that the thing is catching up to when I'm talking. You do a great job setting that down, yeah. There we go. That's more like it. There. So this is like I said, this is a Hobeo Hyper 8 Pro. It's been raced. It's pretty much, it's got an OS speed engine in it. Runs great. Like it's a beautiful running kit. Can you guys still hear me okay? It just seems like there's a really big lag from my comments to here. I just want to make sure that everything's still coming through okay. All right, thanks, Northeast. So if I'm late to reply to your comments, it's because it's slower to come through on my iPad than it is on the screen on the phone. So, but yeah, so like I said, it's this engine actually came from the same racer that races professionally for Team Associated. So it's actually been pinched by Drake, and it's a beast, this thing. Should check, see if it's on this radio. I think so. And MDX, Hugin, Hyper 20, Hyper 81. I'll see if it's that one. Jesus, it's been so long since I run this one, I don't even remember what the on-off switch is. There it is. I think that battery's dead. Check it. He's dead. Stick a lipo in there. Some of these ones I meant to upgrade anyway. The lipos from the old hump packs as they were getting tired. Yeah, I like these round style air filters. They're actually a Techno air filter. If they're and Kyosho uses them as well, but I get them from Techno. They're awesome. I like them because you can actually fasten them to the wing in the center here, and so they don't flop around. You don't have to worry about if you flip it and it turfs the filter off, like it'll turf the filter off or any of that jazz, right? So they're great. So what I do racing the 393s, see the starter box? I don't have any pins on it at all, and I tend to do that with, this is my universal starter box. I just don't run any pins on it at all. And then if you know where you're putting the buggy, generally it's pretty universal. And I find that I was mentioning that on John's live today just because it's like, I get flustered with having to, because I have so many buggies, that I have a couple buggy boxes that are set up for specific ones, but for the most part, I use this one for 90% of it, and I just leave the pins out, and it's just as easy. I believe that, Bob. Yeah, like to each their own for the boxes, but I find for the most part, if you kind of place it where you want, and you just leave the pins off, it works just fine. like I said, I like these air filters. They fit under the body. They got good surface area. You can fasten them to this wing. They work great. I think I even got a few monster trucks with them on it. They work good. Well, I'm sure there's truth to that compass, but it's a fucking pain in the ass to like. I started down that road with bump boxes for all my individual kits, like each one had its own, and then eventually I was just like, screw that, I'm not doing that. That's craziness. So I started doing this, and it seems to work just fine. That's cool. 393. Exactly, Bob. Like that's the problem. I wish that the pins were tall enough that you could just quickly move them. But some of them, like I got a Protect box. It's a bitch to move the pins. Like same as I got an old style Offna box. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, unless there are a whole bunch of the exact same models, they just don't fit. Not sure if this is the box that I used to run on this all the time, but come on. him up for a second. Jingly, that one. 0 to 60 and now. I love those OS speed engines, they're so good. That's that Dynamite Platinum pipe, which looks exactly like the JP2. Hey, Raw. Thanks for coming, buddy. High-speed needle might need new O-rings. It's a little loose. I love these OS engines are so good. Like, all the other companies are good, but my God, these OS engines are worth the money. Fuel tanks in these Hyper 8s are so big. They have a massive fuel tank. Anybody that's interested in a good pipe too, those ones are still available on Amazon. That platinum pipe, which is, like I said, looks almost exactly like a JP2. They're awesome pipes. would love to see what one of these older Offna buggies would do on that track, John, like you were running on. Loaded up, sitting there for a while. See what I mean about the size of that fuel tank? Look at that thing. No, I don't run after run oil. I try to run mine enough that I don't feel the need to. I find most of the new fuels are pretty good. They don't really need much after run oil, so I find as long as you make sure you rotate them periodically and you run nice clean fuel. That's my thing. If you talk to the Bug, he kind of says the same thing. If I'm going to leave them in extended storage, I'll put a little bit of 3-in-1 in there, but other than that, no. I don't put anything in there. After I shut this off, I'll show you the difference between that Platinum and the JP2. I got another one with a JP2 on it. I'm waiting for it to run out of fuel. Yeah, same, Raw. I agree. And if so, I usually use ATF or 3-in-1. Yeah, Tony, most of the Chinese stuff is HSP. If you see HSP stuff, that's China. Come on, baby. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. So HSP shit is and a lot of some Red Cat stuff is China made stuff, and it is just what you'd expect. It's for the most part it'll do. I don't recommend it to people to start out because it's so junky it turns people off. You know. There. Another one run. And a productive day. Oh, sorry, I was going to see. Hold on. Let me find another one with JP pipe. Ah, there it is. Nope, that's not it. Anyway. Where is it? What is that in? Huh? I don't remember what buggy that's in. There it is. Found it. Took me a minute. Sorry, guys. This one. Nope, that's another platinum pipe. I don't remember what buggy that's in. Huh. I'll come across it. Oh well. I'll come across it later. I know I got it in one of my pieces of gear, but geez, is this cooled off now? Yeah. Okay. I'll find it later. Yeah, right after I'm done the live, I'll go, oh, there it is. Yeah, you're right. That must mean I need more. I better buy more pipes. Oh, that's why my chat went all fucking goofy, because my iPad dropped out for a minute. Didn't on the live anyway, because my phone's not on Wi-Fi. I made that mistake before. Hey, you're back, Brett. Hey, buddy. Yeah, so that one ran really good. So, like I said, I agree with raw. I don't put after-run oil in them. I find a lot of the Sidewinder fuel in particular runs pretty clean, and as long as you make sure you put it back on bottom dead center, and then run them periodically. Like in the winter time, I'll do a lot of what I'm doing right now. Run them for a few minutes, shut them off, put them away. The platinum one, yeah, I think it's 058 is the number, I think. I should have kept the bag. I threw it away. There. Yeah, I don't know. I used to have the bag kicking around here, and I think I threw it out. The bag for that pipe. I think I threw it out, but yeah, I come across them on Amazon all the time. Anybody that's interested in it, if you can't find it, let me know. I have the link saved because I bought. Apparently, I got 4 or 5 of them up there now. So, yeah. Oh. Thanks for coming, 393. Have a good night. I figured it was late for you there. So, it's getting like 10 o'clock or so. So, yeah, have a good night. What are you going on about, Compass? Keep it clean, buddy. Keep it clean. Yeah, I'm trying to think of which. I know I have that JP pipe. That's going to bug me now. Now I got to find that. It's going to bug me. I got to go look. Guys, come with me. Let's see if we can figure this out. All right. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. That one's a platinum. This one is what? Well, that's a low-C pipe. This one, that's the factory pipe. That's that Vic pipe. That's the factory Offna pipe. That's factory Offna pipe. That's factory Offna pipe. That one's a factory Offna pipe. That one is the low C8. That's factory. This one is, what is that pipe? There's my JP pipe. That's the JP pipe there in my Kyosho buggy. Okay. See how similar it looks? But yeah, I knew it was in one of them. Yeah, knew it was there somewhere. Okay, that was gonna bug me. Did you mean Hognor? Yeah, I agree, BBT. Hognor does make great buggies. They're like Hognor, Offna, whatever you want to call it. I think I love their buggies. They are my favorite kit. By far. I wish that I'm gonna try and find a Hyper 9 one of these days. That'd be my next go-to for sure. What are you looking for there, Michael? You looking for shelving? Hey, Jason Kennedy, sorry, buddy. I don't know if I said hey. One of those pipes was the works. Which one? Oh yes, that's the one in that. That's the one in that Hyper 8 is a works pipe. Yeah, so these shelves, if you go to Costco, I'm not sure where you're at, Michael, but these Costco shelves, they're 18 inches deep, not 12 inches deep, and they're 36 inches. Is it 36? 36 or 32 wide, so they fit everything nicely. They work really well. So I recommend these Costco ones, and they stack obviously because they go all the way to the ceiling. So if you choose to expand, kind of like I do, they work great. So if you choose to kind of carry on as you go, a buddy of mine's watching. It's funny. Yeah, they go way up. I tend to find them at garage sales all the time, they seem to work great. And even then, now I got people that kind of hit me up and be like, "Hey, you need any more shelving?" And then I end up with a whole bunch more shelving. So they work good. So I got to admit, they're pretty great shelves. So, but the anybody that for the guys that just came, I know some of you have heard this because you've been here for the whole time. But this truggy, the rear tires were the original ones that were fucked up, and these ones I soaked them in the tub of acetone last week when we were watching the live, and I delaminated them from the rim, and they were full of gravel, and then I cleaned them all up, and if you let the foams dry, they go back to the original size, surprisingly, and because they were huge when they came out, massive, and then they shrunk back to the original size. And I just tried it at the beginning of the live, and they don't shake anymore. So I'll be able to actually put this on the shelf with the original wheels and tires back on it, so it'll be super great. I thought that they were done. I gotta admit, I thought these tires would be no bueno, but they came back to life. So that's okay, JD. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I think that's what I paid too. Compass was $30 for the shelves. It was 30 or 36 bucks, and for the one set, I think it's five high or whatever, and then I've just expanded as I went. So yeah, like I said, sorry guys, my iPad is very slow for the comments. So, but I'll check, see. Yeah, so like I said, I ran this earlier. I'm not sure if anybody wants to see it run again, but I'm amazed that the tires don't shake anymore. It cleaned it right up, which is super surprising. So like I said, I like these ones, and I ran them on my last video, anybody that's watched it, but they're the same overall dimension, but the rim size is quite a bit smaller. So they do balloon out like a bugger. So anybody that watched my video, you'll see these things balloon up like a pizza cutter, like you wouldn't believe. So I'll give these a clean and put them back in the rack. They'll do for a spare for now. But 36 by 74 by 24. What was that? 36 wide, 24. Yeah. 5 high. You want to fire it up, Michael? Let's give this one a go. I still got to run the rest of the fuel out of it, so I don't mind actually running it again, because I'm still trying to, I don't like leaving fuel in them. I never leave fuel in my kits. Any of them. because it's not a good practice. That I never do. Never leave fuel in them, and I never leave. I like to always run them till they're empty, so that way you don't have any issues. All right, Scotty. Change the model. There it is. This one runs so good too. Still a little bit of fuel left in it. Probably should. I never took the fuel out. I will have to put a little fuel in it. Just a whisker. Put a little bit in there. Just because I can drain it out after. I'm gonna use my drill. There it is. See what I mean? Those tires are nice and straight now. No more shaking. They were, like I said, they got all that stuff out of there. Hey, turn the exhaust fan on. Hold on. Yeah, can't beat the sound of the big block, eh? There's the fuel. Perfect. Now it's empty. You know it's good. Wind it down, make sure it's at the bottom. There. Let it cool. And we'll put her back on the shelf. I'm super pumped with those wheels though. That made my day. I did not think that was going to work. But I love that I could save the factory wheels. Like that it just makes me pumped. I mean, I know everybody loves the small displacement stuff too. It's pretty fun, but I don't know. I like the big block engine. Let's see if I can give those rims a quick clean before I put that away. But yeah. Man, that acetone trick works good. I've never tried the reusability guideline on foams or a wheel for that matter. The key is to don't stretch them real bad when you take them off. Like don't get really aggressive when you take them off or you'll deform the tire and the foam, and then set them there and let them dry out. Obviously, you don't want to do that in your house because you'll be high as a kite. But I did them out here, and then I let them sit, literally let them sit for 2 days. And they all came right back to normal. And you'd never think it. Like I said, that fucking foam was probably twice as big around as this wheel. And it came back to life. Like it shrunk enough that they're back in, that's the original foams back in there, which I would have thought would be impossible, but it is. So, win. You got two Hoffman 9.5s. Which Hoffman 9.5s? What's a 9.5? Sorry, refresh me. MZ. What's a good big block for a Revo? Oh man, you know that's an age-old thing. Like you guys that stick, I've stuck a few big blocks in Revos, and I tell you, it's a giant garbage dump for parts if you do it. I'm just warning you. Like you stick a big block in a Revo, you better be prepared. You're doing the tranny next, then you're doing axles, then you're doing everything else. I think that OS 21 update is probably the OS 21 or the OS 18 is the best thing for a Revo. I stuck an axial 32 in one, and I stuck that Pico 0.26 in one, and it is hard on the unit. Like it tears itself to shreds. So be careful. Like it just, you're going to be upgrading everything. I mean, if you're prepared to do that, great, fantastic, do it. But you're upgrading the rest of it. Trust me. Because it will destroy itself. It works great, and it's awesome, and it's super fun, but my God, the transmission blows itself to smithereens, and the axles fall apart, and everything else happens. So it's fun, but my God, it's a fucking pain in the ass. Like you can do the same thing with a T-Max, and I mean, you ask Brett, his T-Max is awesome, but my God, he breaks it every time he takes it out. It's amazing, but it does not hold it. If I was going to do it, I think I'd go with that OS 18. To be honest with you, it bolts right in. It's not a lot of fucking around. Like that one that Joe had that got stolen with that axial 32 in it. It was amazing, but every time I took it out, I broke it. Like literally, every time I took it out, I broke it. So. But you're right, Brett. I can't argue with you. It's awesome. It's fun. But it's like running a full-on drag car. It's broke all the time. I kind of agree with you, Compass. Like I like it. I've done it. It's fun. you say you have one that's fully modded and everything else, but my God, it's a pain in the ass. You know, just my opinion for whatever it's worth. There. Put it up top. She's in the top of the world, that one. Hey, if you can afford that, Brett, that's probably your best bet. Like I said, man, to each their own. You can do whatever you want, and just it's a pain in the dick. Ooh, I forgot to put that radio away. There. Well, I think that's just over the 2-hour mark there, guys. And my iPad keeps dropping out. I think, and everybody's going to get ready for football, so I think I'll end her there. Let everybody go and watch football and whatnot. I'll call her a night, and see you all next Sunday. Hang out again. And the weather's starting to get a little nicer, so maybe we can start doing some nicer weather. It's supposed to be better weather this weekend, so we'll actually be able to get out and have some fun without freezing to death. So, or maybe I'll take you guys down to that shop where I did that video, and we'll shoot a video in there, and have a great one. And hopefully everybody has a great week, and have a good one. Everybody, stay cool. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.